What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Talking Halos. I'm your host today, Jared Timms, and I'm joined alongside my co-host, my partner in crime, Nate Green. Nate, how you doing?
I'm doing well. No Derek means surprises all day, so I have no idea what's going on today. So it'll be
Oh, yeah,
fun.
that's right. Yeah, I don't send you anything when Derek isn't on. That's fair. Yeah, I mean we don't have a whole lot to talk about. I mean, Angels just got swept. Winnable series for sure. But they do get swept, unfortunately. We'll talk about that here. We'll talk about that here in a second. Preview the Texas Rangers series and talk a little All-Star snubs because I think everybody's got a little bit of an opinion on All-Stars every single year. It turns out to be that way. To make a case anyway, but we will get to that here in a second. Just want to thank everybody for watching and listening here at Talking Halos. Go ahead and follow us on all our social medias, X, Instagram, Facebook. You can follow myself on X, Jared underscore Tim's Nate, and Nate Green 34. Nate, what's the new site we're using? Playback?
Yes,
Look out for us on Playback, right? I'm doing a good job there with it.
yes, yes.
Playback. Look out for us on Playback. We'll jump on there from time to time. I think hopefully do the draft. Hopefully, do a couple more
Post the link
games.
on X.
Yeah, do a couple more games down the stretch here for sure on playback. Have a lot of fun talking with you guys, live stream, all that fun stuff, watching the Angels with you guys there. So if you don't already, go. I think you subscribe, you follow. I don't know. I haven't looked into it that much, but
Follow.
yeah, follow us on playback as well. We have a lot of fun there, talking Angels baseball with you guys, and of course, give us 1 minute to pay those bills. All right, Nate, like I mentioned, the Toronto Blue Jays series, not a great one. Winnable series, it felt like. I mean, honestly, when was I watching? Game one. I was watching that game one, and it kind of
Yep.
just felt like a playoff game. It was kind of nice. To be honest, it was one of those games where the July 4th game, which Angels, I
Yeah,
saw it,
Friday.
I saw a post and I was like, why? The Toronto Blue Jays should never play at home on 4th of July. That's a fair statement. Why the Angels are playing in Toronto on Independence Day, it's crazy to me. But yeah, three winnable games. They lose each game by 1 run, which kind of rough. They lose two of them in extra innings. Again, kind of rough. Don't know if they were necessarily mismanaged. Don't know if, just outplayed. All right. I'll let
A
you.
little mismanaged and a little just not good enough.
Yeah, just not quite good enough. July is going to be a tough month. It doesn't get any better, especially with these pitching matchups against the Rangers. But let's talk Toronto Blue Jays series, winnable games. I thought. What are your thoughts on this, man? Just hitting didn't really come together like it should have. They didn't really hit well with runners in scoring
Yeah,
position. They
that.
they pitched decently well. They didn't pitch well in certain situations. Didn't play good defense in certain situations. A couple bunt plays where it was like, oof. I thought Luis Renifo made the right play by going back. I thought Zephyr Johns should have had that, and I looked at the bunt again, and I'm like, Shawneewell's crashing. Why is Zephyr going to the first base side on that bunt in game two? But yeah, I mean, that's why we play the game. We don't play it on paper because we have something to talk about here. So go ahead. What do you got for me?
Yeah, kind of like what you were talking about. Terrible with runners in scoring position. They had chances to kind of like add on. Like, hey, it's 2-0. You got second, third, where you got bases loaded, one out, and it's a 0-0 game, and it's like, ooh, we're gonna ground into a double play here. Or they just had opportunities left and right, and they just weren't able to cash in to like really extend things. Toronto's a good team. They've been the hottest
Hot.
team in Major
Yeah.
League Baseball. I think since May, I don't remember the exact date, but since the middle of May, I believe it is, they've been the hottest team in Major League Baseball. So you're not playing a scrub team where it's like, oh, you can make mistakes, you can play bad defense, you can miss a couple innings with runners in scoring position, you can miss it on a couple opportunities. It's like, no, this is a really good ball club there in first place in the NL East, which is arguably the second toughest division in Major League Baseball. You could argue it's the first or third, whatever, but like this is a really, really good ball club. And this is kind of what Toronto fans thought they were getting last year. And they kind of said, you know what, we're going to go out, we're going to make a couple moves, and we're going to redo it. And it's worked out really well for them so far, and kind of their last hurrah as a young core. So um, I thought there were some interesting moves from Montgomery. I think there are some things where it's like, he's young in his managerial career. This is really his first couple of weeks of managing, and you can tell there are some things where it's like, you know, you, he's got to learn. And I think I think most of it comes from he is trying to be very analytical, and I understand that, but you also have to like play the game and use your brain sometimes and just be like, hey, Detmers threw really good in the eighth, like let's run him back in the ninth in a tie game, or um, you know, do we really need to stretch this guy out for one more inning, or should we stretch this guy out for one more inning? He's thrown five, and he's throwing the ball well, but let's let him get through the sixth instead of taking him out after five or whatever. So, um, yeah, it was a tough series, but I think it kind of showed who the Angels actually are. And when you look at all the stats, they're one of the worst teams in starters ERA. They're one of the worst teams in offense in every category except home runs. They're in the top five in home runs. Their bullpen ERA has been actually pretty good over the last couple of months, but early on it was bad. So you look at it, they're I think in the upper half in bullpen ERA. But like when you look at all these numbers, it's like this is not a winning baseball team. And I think they just got beat by a team who's a little bit better than them and a little bit more talented than them. And this is kind of what you have with the Angels is they've got a lot of heart, but they don't have as much talent as some of these other teams.
Yeah, and again, I said this on X. That's why you play it on paper though too, because you've had those teams before where
Oh, absolutely.
it just comes together. I mean, look at Detroit last year. No reason for them to make the playoffs, and they go and make the playoffs, win a playoff series, and you just never know. So, but yeah, I know I do agree with you. You saw a young manager. I think learning pains for sure. Like we're never good at our jobs right away. In my opinion, it's going to take some time to be really good at your job, and that's what Ray Montgomery's working on right now. So it'll be interesting to see how Montgomery handles the staff down the road. I mean, just one thing for me was I was surprised that he let Tyler Anderson go back out there for the sixth today, I think it was. I thought he was pitching well, but then a couple runners get on, and I think that's when Toronto scored the winning run of the game. There was in that sixth inning. So yeah,
It was fine letting him go back out there, but they let him give up the lead, if I remember correctly, and
no,
that was
they brought in someone else.
oh
They didn't let him give the lead. They two runners got on.
no no
I would have
they
taken him
let him
out.
give up the lead. That was the
Was
issue.
that a sac fly
No, he went
or
walk to
single?
Bichette. That's probably where I would have got him after the leadoff
Yeah.
walk to Bichette.
Yeah,
Then
you go
Kirk
batter by batter in that
then
situation.
Kirk singled, and then Schneider singled, and then they went to Brock Burke to get Miles Straw, who grounds out, and then he gets a Joey
Double
Loperfield to ground
double
out as
play.
well.
Yeah.
And it's like, ooh, probably should have got Anderson after the leadoff walk. You kind of give your lefty a chance to go hold the guy at first, maybe get a ground ball. Kirk is absolutely not the fastest guy in the league by any standpoint. So that's where I think the mismanagement came in with this one. It's like, hey, I don't mind him going out for the sixth. He kind of earned it with the way he pitched today. That was one of his better starts of the year. But like after he walks the leadoff guy, I don't care if you're gonna sit here and tell me, oh, they were close pitches. I don't care. Like you walk the leadoff guy in the inning, that guy scores most of the time. Like go to your bullpen and try and keep this game tied. Um, so yeah, and the bullpen, they didn't allow a base runner the rest of the game. They did not allow a hit. They did not walk a guy. So they did their job, but it was like, man, probably should have got him one bat, probably two batters earlier.
Yeah, I mean, and also minus the Jefferson blow up inning in Atlanta, I think that the Angels bullpen is pretty reliable right now. If you're gonna go to it, there's not somebody where I'm like, don't go to this guy. Like I trust Connor Brogdon. I trust a lot of that bullpen right now. Just obviously don't go to Kenley Jansen in a 4-run lead. Um, so yeah,
Did you hear I was yelling about that on playback?
no, I did not. So
Uh,
it's okay.
it's normal. Well, it's funny that you bring that up because I was like, what are we doing here? Like this, hopefully you're winning games and you don't have to bring him back tomorrow and things like that. And they did, and
Yeah.
obviously, but whatever. Yeah, and I think that you probably could have got one more inning out of Detmers in game one. Detmers threw the ball really well, struck out two in his one inning, faced three batters. He threw 19 pitches. Like you could have easily gone one more inning with him, kept it in a tie game, and then hope you get the lead in the 10th and go to Jansen there. But I don't know. There were just some things where it's like, could have played it a little bit better, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. So let's get on to previewing this Texas Rangers series. We got a 4-game set for the Angels. The Angels go home and play Arizona, or they go to Arizona.
They go home.
They go home to play Arizona. Um, let's talk about it here. Preview this series, 4 game set. Really good series matchup, by the way. I think matchups are pretty good straight across the board here. It's going to be a lot of fun. I expect the Angels to not hit very well, but we'll kind of see how it is. Game one, you have Jake DeGrom against Yusei Kikuchi. I believe that is two All-Stars going head to head there.
It is.
What do you got, man?
Um, I don't think the Angels are going to be able to hit the ground, but I do like that the Rangers are playing right now. We're recording this at 7:23 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The Rangers are playing right now. They have to fly all the way back to Texas. The Angels finished up probably f 3, 4 hours ago, and they get to go
Series is at home, by the
for
way.
Texas. Yes.
No, it's at home for
Oh,
it's at home for the Angels. I thought it was in Texas too.
oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
you go back to
You
Anaheim.
you had
So
me all
did
messed
I
up.
thought it was in Texas for some
Okay.
reason, but
But either way, luckily, I guess Texas doesn't have to go too far. They're only going to have to go about an hour, but they're probably going to get it a little bit later, have to play tomorrow. So I still think Texas wins this game because Jacob DeGrom has been unbelievable this year. He looks like the Jacob DeGrom of old. Kikuchi has pitched well, but I don't think he pitches good enough to win this game.
yeah, if you're going to this game, expect like a 2 hour game or something like that. I mean, I think it's going to go, bang, 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 three out, three up, three down pretty quickly here. I'm taking Jake DeGrom. It's hard to go against one of the best pitchers in baseball. But so I'll take the loss there on that one. Game two, Nathan Eovaldi against Jose Soriano. I'll start here. It's a tough one again, man. Like Nathan Eovaldi strikes a lot of guys out and hasn't given up a lot of runs or a lot of home runs this year. Jose Soriano's looked really, really good as well. Again, a game that I think it's gonna be a close game. Just I think game one's gonna be a close game too. I think it's gonna come down to the bullpens, and I just think that the Angels aren't gonna hit DeGrom well enough either. And that note, and I'm gonna go the same thing here. I don't think they're gonna hit Nathan Eovaldi well enough. Like 15 strikeouts, something crazy like that. 30 strikeouts in the first 2 games of this series, something stupid. I'm also gonna say that the Angels lose this second game too.
Yeah, I agree. Evaldi's been really good. He's had one bad outing since coming off the IL against Seattle, but other than that, he's been pretty freaking good lately. So, Soriano's had that one blow up outing too. So we'll see. It should be another really, really good pitching matchup, but Texas seems to be on the other end right now where they're like making the push. They're getting guys healthy. So I think Texas wins this one as well.
Yep. Game three gets a little bit better for sure. I think the offense for both teams starts to come alive here. Game three, it's Kumar Rocker against Kyle Hendricks. Nate, go ahead. I'll let you take this one.
This is gonna be a really good one, honestly, because Hendricks has been pretty good for the Angels lately. Rocker had that really good. He's had a couple good starts ever since they've allowed him to enter into this rotation for Tyler Mahle. He's had one bad outing, if I remember correctly, but he's been pretty good lately for him. Um, oh man, this is gonna be a really really good matchup. With all the lefties in the lineup too. Oh, man, this
Good
would be
match.
the one. This is the one time that I would have the Angels winning actually too, because you can't have them win, and I can because I think Hendricks has been able to do well. So I'll go Angels win.
Boy, look at you. Are you saying it's a good matchup for the offense or
Hendricks with his changeup against Seager and um, who else?
yeah?
I
As
think
long as as long as the sinker and changeup don't flatten out, I like the
yeah,
matchup too. Um, gonna go against what I've been doing here, Nate. I,
Smith,
I, I really am.
Carter.
Yeah, I'm going against what I've been doing. I know this is probably a horrible idea. Um,
Oh, if you're picking Angels, then I retract my last
are you
statement
gonna retract your last
and I
one?
go Rangers. Yeah,
Are you
because
really?
yes, because if you have said I am anti Kyle Hendricks, I
I
cannot
know.
pick a game that he's pitching,
I,
and if you're gonna do that, then I got to pick the Rangers because that means the world's going to end. So
it has gone. I'm going against what I've been saying this entire year. For the first time, I think in this entire season, I'm saying the Angels win this game. I don't know if Kyle Hendricks pitches well enough. I don't know if he pitches into the fifth, sixth, seventh inning. But I do like the matchup against all the lefties. I think that if the fastball stays or the sinker, can keep if he can keep the sinker down, if he can keep the changeup down, he'll be okay against all the lefties. Yeah, I'm saying the Angels win this game, man. And I'm forcing you to take a sweep here as well, by the way, because I
Yes,
know you're
yes,
going to go against Kahanowitz in game four.
yes, because I stick to what I say, and yeah, you
I,
already
I
know.
would stick I would stick to what I say, but I want to throw a little curveball here since Angels are playing decently well, and I wanted to you know change it up a little bit, which means they're probably going to get swept.
Yeah, I can't pick any game that Jack starts. It's against the rules that I've
Yeah,
made up for
Kahanowitz
myself.
against Patrick Corbin, heck of a matchup there, huh?
Patrick Corbin's been really, really good for him. It's been a good signing for them. He has been unbelievable for
If
them.
he's been really good for them, then Kyle Hendricks has been really good for the Angels.
I mean,
It's a really good signing for the Angels, then. That's what Kyle Hendricks is,
I
man.
think Corbin was a minor league free agent deal. He's got a 4.18. He's been really good for them, and he's been giving them a chance to win. Um,
Then Tyler Anderson's a good deal this year too, man.
Ty,
Like
no, Tyler Anderson's been worse than him.
I'm giving you Kyle Hendricks then. And Kyle Hendricks has been a good signing. I don't want to hear
Kyle
about it.
Hendricks has been worse than Patrick Corbin as well, and both those guys cost more money than Patrick Corbin, I believe.
I'm not giving you the benefit of the doubt. Just say that they're going to get swept. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean Jack Hanowitz can't pitch. He shouldn't be in this rotation. I'd rather see anybody than Jack Hanowitz, and I'm going to stick to that. I'd rather see Victor Medeiros, and he's probably my least favorite pitcher in the org. So yeah, go Ranger sweep.
I like the Angels in this game. I do not like
Good.
Patrick Corbin. I think the Angels against the lefties is a very good thing. I don't know if it's a good thing at home, but I think it's not a bad thing. Even though they do suck against left-handed pitching, I think that I think the Angels win this game. I think they jump all over Patrick Corbin and split this series. Still stay out of the playoff picture for sure, but I think that they find a way to split this series. Nate, that's a bold move to go with a four-game sweep, man.
But did you think about the lefty in Anaheim? Supposedly that's a tough thing, and it's an
Oh, I know the
automatic win.
Angels haven't hit lefties very well, especially at home. They got like a 60 WRC plus last time I checked against lefties. But I also don't like Patrick Corbin very much either. So there's
You've
that.
been missing out. He's had a really, really good year. It's been a resurgence for him.
He's got a 4.1 ERA.
I
You
know.
can't tell me he's been really good with a 4.1. That's like telling me Jack Hanowitz or Kyle Hendricks has been good, really, really good this year.
One,
And Kyle
two,
Hendricks
three.
has been good down the over the past
He's
like
had
month and a
four
half.
straight years of an ERA over 5. So for him to be this close to a 3 is unbelievable. Um, and he's been good.
That's like tipping the cap to Tyler Anderson and saying that he's been healthy after starting off his career horribly. I mean, it, it's mind-boggling to me, especially pitching in Texas too, where that is a pitcher's park and having a 4 ERA. That's like the argument. That's like your Seattle Mariners argument and saying their rotation isn't good because they pitch in Seattle. Like this even more so, shows that
More than
Patrick
half his
Court.
starts have been on the road.
I don't care, man. I mean, then he's been really bad he's been like a 6 ERA on the road or something like that then. Am I
4-4.
right? Okay. I'm not giving you that, man. So, let's get on to it. All-star teams are announced. You say Kikuchi is the Angels All-Star. We think there might have been a couple guys snubbed. At least one. I'm gonna say two guys just because of certain things, but at least one guy, Joe Adell, man, I absolutely should have been an all-star over Julio Rodriguez.
Yep,
However, I will say this about Julio. Everybody saying that he's overrated, everything like that. He signed a big
he is.
contract. His lowest WAR has been 3.9. He was a 3.9 WAR guy last year, man. He's on pace to be over a 4-win guy this year. Like, come on. He's not
It,
overrated. Like he's
okay,
if he's overrated, then I give you he might be slightly overrated because he's talked about so much, but he's not
when
overrated.
his first year finished, they were saying that he was on the same level as Mike Trout when he was coming up. So you
That's what I'm
cannot
saying.
sit here and be like, "Oh, he's not overrated," when everyone was talking about him as, "Oh, he's the next Mike Trout. He's on the same area. He's in the same area code as Ronald Acuna Jr. He's in the same area code as all these guys." It's like his OPS has gone down every single year since his first year. He has he has become a worse offense player every single year. Yeah, he plays a really good center field, but that's not what you get. That's not what you make all-star games for. You make all-star games because you have a really good all-around first half. And I thought there were other guys that should have been all-stars over him, and not just Joe Adell. I think Joe Adell should have been the pick, but there were other guys who easily could have been all-stars instead of him.
Yeah, George Springer's another one that's been really,
George
really
Springer
good.
was the other guy.
I mean, we're an Angels podcast. So I don't need to talk about the Mariners that much,
Yep.
you can't say this guy's been that. He's on pace to put up a 20 WAR over his first 4 years of his career. Like he's on Hall of Fame. He's on Hall of Fame projections, man. Like
He has
it's
under a
crazy.
700 OPS.
It's crazy. I know. I get what you're saying. I do, and I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna argue against it just because I do think Joe Adell should have been the All-Star. But man, to say that Julio is overrated, man, he's on Hall of Fame. He is on Hall of Fame projections. Like if he continues to do what he's doing, he should be a Hall of Famer. I know
I
he's only 24 years old and everything like that, but it's crazy to me.
I would argue that he's not on Hall of Fame track because he's getting worse offensively every year, and defensively, you will have a time where you are not the same center fielder, and you'll get moved to a corner, and you'll get penalized for WAR. So,
It's
like,
close,
he's going
man.
to have to figure out a way to get back to hitting, and he has not proven that he can hit. He's everything has gotten worse ever since that year one.
I'm not going to argue. I think Joe Adell should have been an all-star. I don't think Julio is overrated by any means, but I do think he should have been an all-star only for the fact that Joe Adell has been unbelievably good in the one part that matters during an All-Star game, and that is the offense. That's what everybody pays to see. That's what you go to see is the offense. Nobody goes and pays to see Andrelton Simmons in the All-Star game because he's a good defender, unfortunately, or else he would have been in the All-Star game a whole bunch of times. But Joe Adell this year, he's batting 251 on the year with a 130 WRC plus. I guess technically he's batting 248 after today's game with a 129 WRC plus. He's got 19 home runs. I think he should be in the All-Star game. I think he should be in the home run derby. Like I think this is a huge mistake for the American League. It's rough all the way around there with Joe Adell. And I thought that George Springer probably should have been in the All-Star game as well. But we'll wait and see. Maybe a couple injuries pop up, something weird happens, and Joe Adell does end up making
I
the
think
All-Star
there's
game.
three injuries that are going to have to be
Addressed.
addressed
Mhm.
offensively, and I think one of them is going to be whatever they want, whatever Boone wants. Because looking at the way that they constructed this All-Star team, he's out. He's not going to be able to play. He's been out for the last couple, what, 4 to 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks.
Something like that.
Um, so you're going to have to bring in a third baseman to back up. So I think my guess would be Junior Caminero has a shot to get that. There's a couple other guys, but I think maybe Isaac Paredes. But knowing that it's Boone, he might want to pick his American League East guys. So I'm just going to say Bregman will get replaced. Jeremy Pena will not play in this All Star game as well. He just went on the IL. By the time he gets back, it'll be after the All Star break as well. And then the third guy is Brandon Lowe, who went out with an injury today, I believe. And I think that one needs to be a second baseman as well as like the Bregman needs to be a third baseman. So you could put in a couple different guys, whatever. But because there's already two shortstops on this team, there would be two third basemen, two second basemen, two first, uh, two of every position. I think that third position, that Jeremy Pena thing, could be any position, and I think that's where Boone could choose an outfielder or he could choose an infielder. So there is a chance that the other Angel guy, who people could be saying is a snub, which I don't think so because based on the numbers, he's been the fourth best shortstop in the American League. Um, and then Joe Adell. I think the Angels have a shot to get one more All Star just based on injuries and what we're looking at.
Yeah, I agree with that. A snub that nobody's really talking about, and I know a lot of people aren't gonna like. For me is Reed Detmers. I know he's got the 3.89 ERA. He's put up almost a one WAR as a reliever, which is really freaking good. You take away those three games, well, the three outings where he pitched a third of an inning and gave up 12 runs. He's got a 1.125 ERA or something like that with 50 strikeouts and 39 and a third innings. Like it's kind of the same argument as Joe Adell. Joe Adell was so bad to start that year off, like the year off. He's been so good to boost his numbers up. The biggest thing with Reed Detmers, unfortunately, is that ERA. I'm not saying, he should have, but I think that there should have been more consideration for Reed Detmers, especially what he's done over the past month and a half, 2 months as a reliever. Like he's been absolutely lights out. He's given up one earned run since those big blow up innings, I think is what it was. Maybe two earned runs. It's been absolutely unbelievable. Plus, you look at it and How many lefties are they going to run out there that are going to be close to touching triple digits? Probably are going to touch. He probably would touch triple digits in the All-Star game because the gun's going to be hot. With two plus out pitches, like I
At
think
least four.
are there four lefties? What do they put? Rolls Chapman in, and
Yep.
who else?
Garrett Crochet, Josh Hader, and Tarek Skubal.
Love it. Add in Reed Detmers there because
So
that'd be a lot
the
of
the
fun.
only problem with your Reed Detmers comment is honestly, I don't know who you take off. Like
No.
every one of the pitchers is well deserving of this. Obviously, there could be a chance that maybe Aaron Boone goes Reed Detmers if I haven't looked at who's supposed to start Sunday, but I'm sure at least one of these guys is supposed to start Sunday. But like Hunter Brown has been one of the best pitchers in
Mhm.
Major League Baseball. He's got to be in. Chris Bubik has been unbelievable so far for Kansas City. He's got to be in. Chapman, Crochet has, obviously Cy Young possibilities. DeGrom, we just talked about Cy Young possibilities. Max Fried, Cy Young possibilities. Kikuchi, his own teammate. Andres Munoz has been arguably the best reliever in the American League this year. And then you have Tarek Skubal, who, again, Cy Young candidate, unbelievable what he's been able to do. Shane Smith, because the White Sox need a guy, but Shane Smith has had a decent year as well. And then Brian Wu. Brian Wu has been outstanding. So there's not really a guy where you look at and go, man, this guy can't be on the team. I don't think it's as easy as it is um, with the American League like bench spots where it's like, okay, J Rod probably shouldn't be on the team. Um, I just think the pitchers have been really, really good this year.
Yeah, and just looking at it here, there's a chance Hunter Brown starts on Sunday.
Okay.
And then did you say Nathan Eovaldi is an all-star
No,
or no? Well,
no.
then Nathan Eovaldi probably should be an all-star. Uh,
He missed some time with the injury. That's probably why he didn't.
yeah, but still, yeah, again, I don't think that Reed Detmer should be, but I think it should have been at least considered because of how good he's been over the past 2 months. It's kind of the Joe Adell argument too. Like Joe Adell's been so good. Reed Detmer's ERA is inflated because of that point or those three outings, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, regardless, the fact that we're talking about this in the first half, like, hey, Neto should be, hey, Adell should be, Reed Detmer's could have been. You take away the Kenley Jansen like blow up game, and I think he's got a sub 2 ERA as well. So Kenley's staying close as well, minus an outing. Mike Trout was in the final All Star voting as well. I don't think he should have made it by any means, but
Yeah.
um, I mean, definitely deserving because of who he is. And then you say Kikuchi, dang good as well. And then Jose Soriano. I thought minus that one blow up inning, one blow up game, couple starts or that last start, a couple starts ago, whenever that was, you know, definitely could have made it. So, Nate, you got any final thoughts before we let everybody go?
I think I don't think that Soriano was an all-star based on all these crazy numbers. Some of
No,
these numbers
good
that
though,
these
really good this year.
yeah, that's fine, but we're not giving all-star spots away for being really good. We're giving all-star spots away for being elite, one of the best in the game. Obviously, the Marlins, the White Sox, the Rockies all need to have one, so they're just throwing in guys. But I think Hunter Goodman deserves it the way he's been playing for the Rockies. I think Kyle Stowers deserves it the way he's been playing for the Marlins. The White Sox, there's really not a guy where it's like, oh man, this guy kind of deserves it. It's like all their pitchers have kind of been over a 4 ERA. Offensively, they've kind of been a mess. They haven't really had a guy. So I understand Shane Smith being the guy, but you got to have somebody make this. So um, good, really, really good first half for Joe Adell. I think when we did the interview with him that was a year back, a year and a half now,
Mhm.
we mentioned that when he becomes an all-star, come back on the show. So hopefully he gets named an all-star. We get him back on the show um, either before the second half starts or before the end of the or at the end of the year, like we had talked about. So rooting for him to get in. Neto's had an unbelievable year, but I mean that the shortstop crew in the American League is ridiculous. Like Jeremy Pena has been unreal. Bobby Witt Jr. has been unreal. Jacob Wilson is hitting 360 or whatever it is now, and it's like, man, like Neto's had a good year, but these guys have just been a little bit better. And who knows? Maybe if Neto was healthy from the beginning, maybe his numbers would be way better than Bobby Witt Jr.'s or Jeremy Pena, and he'd be here. So yeah, the Angels have had some really good individual seasons from some guys, and we're hoping that some of these guys can continue on with that success, like Joe Adell, like Zach Neto, like Yosei Kikuchi, Jose Soriano being able to take that next step. But Um, these next couple of weeks are very, very huge for the Angels as they're trying to decide if they're in it or not, and hopefully they learn their lesson that they are not in it after this week. But we'll see. That this Ranger series is big because you're tied with Texas, I believe. You'll be a half game. You'll be a game and a half back, or you'll be a half game back, depending on how this uh, how this game ends with San Diego. And you're 4.5 back of Seattle. So if you get swept here, you could find yourself, 6, 7, 8 games back of Seattle going into the All-Star break ish, and then it becomes pretty obvious that you need to sell. So this is a big week for the Angels as they're playing two teams that are fighting for their playoff lives. Texas and Arizona. Arizona seems to be on the other side of Texas, but Arizona seems to be playing really good baseball right now. So we'll see. This is a gigantic week if they want to say that they're a playoff team.
Yeah, and side note here on Jose Soriano, highest F4 amongst qualified starters to
And
not
I
make
don't.
it to the
I don't care about
All-Star
that.
team. I know you
Oh,
don't. I know you don't care, but the only guys below him, Joe Ryan. Did you say Joe Ryan was an All-Star?
nope.
Okay. Brian Wu, All-Star.
He is an all-star.
There's your Seattle argument, and Yusei Kikuchi has a 1.9 ERA. I'm not letting you talk anymore, Nate. You're
Wait.
done
One other
talking.
thing that got brought up today that I
Oh.
think is interesting. Uh, Washington Nationals fired GM and manager today, a week and a half before the draft. I know that they're still trying to figure out who they're going to take. Some people think it's Ethan Holiday. Obviously, some people think it's Cade Anderson. This could shake some things up. I wonder if there was a little bit of a disagreement between owner and GM of who they were going to take, or are the Nationals that close to being sold and the new ownership didn't want to be the guys to fire the World Series champion Mike Rizzo and the World Series champion David Martinez. So that'll be interesting. Another storyline to add to the draft is the Angels. We're exactly a week away from the draft, and that second pick could be very, very huge for this team.
Absolutely. So, with all that being said, thanks for watching and listening here at Talking Halos. Go ahead and follow us on all our social medias, X, Instagram, Facebook. You can follow myself on X, Jared_Times Nate at NateGreen34, guys. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Have a great rest of your day.